So welcome everyone. I'm Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk, and this is the Unbound Sage. This is the launch. This is a brand new show. And what I'm really doing with this show is bringing back an old rapid fire type of message show I used to do years ago. And you can drop a $10 donation, and that's all you need to do. This is not a Q&A show like my other ones. So whatever needs to come up for you is going to come up for you. All right. Now, again, I'm going to remind everybody in case you missed this, when you see your name come up, you're going to be the next one up to receive the message. All right. If everybody could give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind, and please do subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into it. Jill, who do we have? All right. So this is one of my YouTube members, Maraid. What do I have for you, Maraid? First thing that really comes up for you here, Maraid, is that it's going to be important for you to roll with things a little bit faster than what you are. There's this sense of clogged up energy, and it's coming up in your heart chakra. Now, when something starts to get clogged in the heart chakra, we tend to think of that as being like affecting love, maybe affecting romantic relationships. But what it's really affecting is everything that you're passionate about in your life. And love comes in so many forms. Romantic relationships and partnerships are the lowest level of love expression. Okay. It's often not even that at all. So you want to think of your heart chakra as being sort of the base of all the decisions that you make in your life. It's where passion flows. It's how you know whether or not you are living authentically within your life contract, and you're doing what you came here to do, because your vibration, your energy level is either super high and we have energy flowing through your heart chakra, or it's low. And it's a sign that you're not honoring, okay, what is there in your heart. And for you, it comes up as stuff you want to do. All right. And you do have a lady coming through her mom's side of the family. It feels like maternal energy. So I want to say grandma energy. She's a little bit on the plump side. She loved to do what she loved to do. And she didn't necessarily do that until later in life. So whether it was because her husband was gone and out of the way or whatever it was, she didn't take the liberty, she says, okay, to go after what she wanted unapologetically and instantly. As she got older, it may have been like, I want to eat this. I want to go here. Take me here. I want to spend time with these people. She also was really good later in life at saying, I don't want to participate in that. I don't care about that. I have no interest in that. I see no value in that. So it's like you need to move a little bit quicker. Okay. You're getting in your own way. Free your heart up. Okay. Love is actually a vibration, okay, of enjoying yourself. All right. Thank you so much, Maraid. We're going to move on to another one from Cody, another YouTube member. So Cody, when I'm going over here with you, I feel like you need to express yourself a little bit more. I'm hearing. I wanted to say a little bit better. So let's look at both of those. We do have some activity going on here with your throat chakra. And what that can mean is that you're not necessarily hesitant about saying what it is that you believe or you want with people, but you may not really know what you believe or you want. So I feel like the clarification that needs to happen here, or the betterment that we were talking about earlier, is really coming from you spending a little bit more time with yourself and really figuring out what it is that you want to see happen in your life. And in some cases, what you want to see change. I do feel you looking at some work situations and some relationship situations that could be improved upon a bit. And they're feeling very stagnant to me. It's almost like you're not pushing hard enough because you don't want to rock the boat. Maybe you don't want to see changes in your life, okay? But you can feel both. You can want something and not want other aspects of it, okay? You need to marry those ideas and come to terms with it and say specifically, what do I want in work? What do I want in my relationships? And even for you, sometimes it's your living environment and your day-to-day lifestyle, okay? So get more specific on it and don't allow yourself to like throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have a grandfather coming through here smoking a pipe, and he's like tall and lanky. And I do feel like I'm going back, okay, a couple generations here. He would have owned a significant amount of land, And he would have felt every day like not necessarily waking up and getting out there and like working the land. Okay. I'm not sure if he's a farmer or what he was doing, but every day he says, I woke up and I didn't feel like getting out there. But after I was up an hour or two, I was happy with the work that I was doing. There was a lot of gratification there. So I think sometimes you just need to get moving. Okay. And it'll help to release some of the things that you don't like or are worried about in making changes. All right. Thank you. Vanessa, also a YouTube member. All right. So Vanessa, what am I getting for you? I see you pulling apples down off of a tree, and you do have a set of grandparents coming through collectively here, mom's side of the family watching over you, as well as a gentleman who watches over you sort of in a paternal way, but it feels more like brother type energy. When they come in here and they show you pulling these apples down off this tree, apples are going to symbolize potentially a couple different things for you. They could be children. They could also be opportunities. And there is this sense of you wanting to get more involved in what you feel passionate about, wanting to start something new. And I also see you hoarding these apples. Now, there's no way you could pick this many and like eat all of them. Even if you were to like make them into pies or something like this, I really don't feel like it's a realistic amount for one person to consume. However, the fact that you want to keep this to yourself signifies, and what your loved ones are encouraging, is that you do keep it to yourself, not necessarily in a selfish, hoarding, greedy sense, but more like those are your apples. Okay. So those are your babies. Those are your projects. Those are things in your life that you feel passionate about. And you don't have to share that with anyone, especially if you have negative people in your life, if you have naysayers, if you have people who never do anything, but the minute somebody else does something, they have a way of being like, meh, that won't work, or that's stupid or whatever. There's a sense of you hoarding it and keeping to yourself, not sharing, but also not sharing in the fruits of your labor. Once all of this starts paying off and you're more invested in this sort of new life for yourself, and your prosperity is there and your joy is there and there's a lot of celebration, you shouldn't share that either with those people. Okay. So keep it to yourself. This is a period of time for you to evolve in your life, but also hold your personal space. Okay. Keep that boundary line and keep it set. All right. Thank you so much. Kathleen Reynolds, also a YouTube member. My message for you, Kathleen, is about getting out of your own way and letting yourself go a little bit. There is a hand. If we were talking about tarot, and I don't really know tarot, but I know specific cards will come up in my messages sometimes. I see a card. I think it's a cup card. You guys, let me know in the comment section if you know what I'm talking about. There's like the hand of God coming down, or the hand of the universe, or the hand of prosperity, sort of coming down from the sky. And ultimately what this feels like is it's allowing you, to do something, encouraging you to do something new. But what I see with you is that you're stuck in your past. You're stuck in cyclical patterns of thought, and even often negative cyclical patterns of thought. And so you can't really get on with life. You can't really accept the gifts of the universe if you're looking to the past. If you're looking to what looks in regards to this tarot card, it's a spilled cup. If you're looking at things that didn't work out, if you're disgruntled about that, if you're bitter at all, and I'm not saying that you're bitter, but we are approaching bitter, if you have any type of negative feelings, regret, or a sense of grieving and loss that you have not alchemized, you haven't transmuted yet, and it's keeping you stuck in the past, this is the time to let go. There is no time like the present, because the universe is offering you more. So it's time to do some shadow work. It's maybe a good time to talk to a therapist, or talk out, the things that pop in your head that you feel keep you stuck in cyclical patterns, and figure out a way to release them. Now, I know this is easier said than done. And usually when I say something like this to somebody, or I post something about this, people go, well, easier said than done. And there's always like a crying emoji or something like that, which says defeat. I choose defeat. I want to stay stuck. So just make sure that your attitude toward this message is one of faith and belief and trust that even though things maybe went wrong in the past, they can go right in the future. One does not determine the other unless you allow it to. Okay? One has nothing to do with the other. So All right. Thank you so much for that, Yolanda, another YouTube member. Yolanda, what do I have for you? I actually have you releasing a lot of anxiety. So if something's been causing you stress or anxiety, and you have a grandfather who comes through who like did not speak, like he never really said much of anything. I see him smoking what looked like a cigarette, and then it kind of turned into a cigar. I don't know if you've ever seen these Swisher sweets, or reminds me of like sage cigarettes, or maybe he was rolling something up in there of his own. But sometimes the thickness and the way he smokes this thing changes a little bit. Anyways, I have this grandfather coming and watching over you, and he was good at like doing nothing. He was good at sitting down by the water, or sitting at the creek, or even like taking off his boots and putting his feet in the water and just sitting on a rock. He was good at just being still. Now, when we say nature is our church, maybe everybody doesn't get that, okay? But he was a man who understood that when you want to hear from God, you want to manifest something, you want to understand what would be best for your future or go through healing, you don't have to go sit in a church pew and talk at God or say a rosary. You go into nature and you receive from the universe. You receive from nature. Okay. The answers are all there. I think you need to be doing more of this. And he's been encouraging you to do more of this. He's also been visiting you in some dreams, as have several other loved ones recently. I'm hearing two dreams in particular, a grandmother and what looks like an uncle type, or like a friend, a romantic partner. You've been receiving several dreams, but possibly waking up still stressed and still saying, I don't know. I don't know what that was about. I remember they were there, but I didn't get the message. Well, you have to work harder at that. Okay. Communication is a two-way street, including with spirit, especially with spirit. And so what you want to be doing right now in your life is getting rid of some of this stress. Like your grandfather says, this monkey off your back. Okay. And it may pay nicely. It may talk to you sweetly. It may be a very charming monkey. It may be the kind of monkey you kind of have to like, ditch at the zoo or something and like lock up and leave there. I mean, I feel like going forward to your future, and this is over the next 2 months coming up, you're going to have some opportunities to do something else. And it may drastically change, what you're doing with your work, your money, your investments, your resources, and it may free you. It may set you free, okay, to avoid a lot of stressful situations in your life that just right now don't need to be there. Okay. You're also bringing in more light and more fun and more healing, okay, and attention and affection. So make sure you're making room for that, okay? Because right now it's like everything is full. Everything is full, okay? Get down to that water, do some relaxation, and listen more clearly. All right, thank you for that. Masubi also a YouTube member. So Masubi is Melissa. Melissa, what message do I have for you? I feel like it's time for you to shine, and I feel like it's time for you to stop crying. So, you have two different ladies coming through here who are wiping away your tears. One who was very bossy and actually wasn't very affectionate at all. However, if she came up to you and she said, wipe your tears, you'd be like, whoa, what is she seeing? I'm very curious about her level of wisdom, her perception of things, and what remedy she has to stop these tears. The other one is a little bit softer, a little bit more, quite a lot actually, more affectionate. And she would be more of a great listener. They've both been with you. And I feel like you're coming out of some hard circumstances where maybe you are a little bit stuck in that energy, whether it be like grief, loss, wishing things were different, still looking at the future and saying, is it possible that things will be different? Is it possible that things can go in a bit of a different direction than what they're going right now? You're kind of clinging to some old ideas that you are still hopeful will come into your future realizations, and they often involve other people. And this is a crapshoot. I don't care if it's your kids. I don't care if it's a spouse. I don't care if it's family. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter. Okay. When you're dealing with other human beings, you have to remember at all times. And this is where Grandma's saying this is going to help you to wipe those tears once and for all and stop that. Okay. They are not an extension of you. They are on their own journeys. That is up to them. You give them the tools that you can, and then one day they're off on their own, and they're the responsibility of the universe, okay? You need to start programming your mind, your emotions, and yes, you can program your emotions to a degree, into being more focused on you, your future, your autonomy, your independence, your future for you, not your future in a community, embedded with others, or dependent upon the choices that those you love will make, okay, in regards to their life, in regards to you. Sometimes also people are not trying to hurt you or disappoint you. They're just not an extension of you, and they're living their own life, and you're not really a major consideration there. Okay. And that goes for most people. So there's a lot of detachment happening here before you could sort of cleanse that out. And that's also going to come through like slapping yourself on the hand sometimes and saying, I'm doing it again. I'm thinking that way. I'm allowing myself to be consumed, or I'm centering these other people. You say, stop it. And you replace it with thoughts of you. Okay. Also pamper yourself a little bit more every day, whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you feel happy. But I think too, one of the things you need to be doing is, coming up with almost like a vision board or a little manifestation list, visualizations about what is going to make you happy in the upcoming 1 to 2 years. Because there's a lot of achievement that can happen there, especially with like residency stuff, money stuff, and travel stuff. That looks really, really good for you. So lots to celebrate, but you can't celebrate if you're crying about the past. Okay. So your grandmother's trying to sort of snap you out of that. Thank you so much for that. We're going to move on to another one from a Robin Hartling. And this is also a YouTube member. Robin, when I go over here with you, I feel like you need to put your words down on paper. You need to publish, you need to write it out, you need to speak. I'm hearing speak specifically. You have a gentleman who comes through, watches over you in a paternal way. He's actually quite tall, like maybe 6'1", 6'2", like he's passing 6 foot. And he's not braggedy about it. He just wouldn't have even mentioned it. I'm mentioning it. He's also kind of wider, in through the chest. He's like big, like working man hands. This is a big dude, and he comes in here with like big energy, but super humble, like soft spoken, very intelligent, intuitively intelligent, emotionally intelligent, even like politically intelligent, like would watch out for the community. What's good for the bee is good for the hive. This is a smart man. And he comes through talking about you being at a place where you have more to share than what you've been sharing. And this isn't any kind of like, shaming. He's not like, punishing you or saying, they're frustrated with you per se, but I do feel like you kind of missed the deadline here a couple times. Okay. So what I mean by deadlines is that sometimes the planets are moving and shifting. And astrologically, they're very supportive of you accomplishing something. And then they move again. And then you kind of miss that deadline, You also have deadlines within your life contract, meaning what you signed on to before you came to Earth. That matches your astrology. You're missing a couple. And you're missing in this area of you speaking, teaching, leading, communicating, sharing, right? Your wisdom, your power, your strength, your knowledge out to the public. I think you're diminishing yourself ultimately. I think you're saying, oh, nobody wants to hear that, or nobody cares. Who cares whether anybody cares or not? If you're supposed to do something, you do it for you. You do it because it's supposed to be done. That's what being of service is to the world around you, not being hyper focused on how it lands or whether you'll make money off of it or whether it's going to be worth your time. It's worth your time because it was meant to be said. Okay. So get out there. Publishing could be anything these days, from self-publishing to actual, hard copy publishing, to YouTube, to videos, to social media, podcasts, what I'm doing right now. This is all a form of publishing. Think of yourself as a journalist who has something to say to the public, because you are, and he's helping you with that. And he was really good at that. He could have been a speaker. He may have, but he doesn't consider himself that, but you got it directly from him. And it did skip a generation. So nice to see it back. All right, we have another one coming in here from Jill Marie. Jill Marie, our producer, so cute, and also a YouTube member. All right, Jill, what do I have coming up for you? I see dogs and cats coming out of your throat chakra, and I know you have several dogs and cats and rescues. But I think what this is actually talking about is like they're your harmony. They are becoming more of your peace, and you may be connecting with animals in a very different way than what you have in the past. Even within your life contract, it may have been like the little leagues compared to what you're getting into right now. So if you were thinking of getting more into like animal healing, animal Reiki, pet readings, deceased pet readings, okay, medical intuitive work on pets, whatever it is, it seems like they're speaking through you, literally coming out of your throat chakra. So some of them are yours, but I can tell the difference between your own pets and pets in spirit and other pets from the universe. Some of them are yours, almost like maybe you're going to be practicing your skill set and the art of doing this through your own pets. But there is going to be an increase, and there is going to be demand, meaning the universe is going to be putting you on or even pushing you toward more of this work for the upcoming year. There's also talk of the next 3 months. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're feeling really driven to do more of that, but also feeling a little bit like, and this is really with anything. If you ever notice you're excited about something, you feel passionate about something, you have a vision, you're supposed to do something, and then no sooner do you have that, you start coming up with excuses. Yeah, but I'm tired. Yeah, but there's no time in the schedule. Yeah, but my work, pushes me too hard. Where would I even do this? I don't want to commit to something I'm not going to be able to do. So you're making a statement in rejection when you should be saying, I will make room for it because I'm being called to do it. Just be open and mindful to that, and allow yourself to also celebrate what happens when you work with animals, because the healing energy we receive back from them is tremendous. And it's not like anything you could ever get, from something like shopping or human relationships. And so it really does feel like they become your song, your source of joy. Also, you have an increase in loyalty going on. So if you've been dealing with a lot of shitty people in your life, the dogs represent loyalty and simplicity in relationships. So we see an increase with that over the upcoming 3 years for you as well. Definitely something to celebrate. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Thank you for that. We have Kat also on YouTube. So Kat, what do I have for you? Kat, I feel you becoming more focused. And if you feel as though you struggle to stay focused on tasks at times, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with this. I'm not saying that it has to change. I'm not even saying that it's going away. I'm just saying that you're doing better at feeling more focused and accomplishing things in a way that is satisfying for you. And I think that you've been wanting to do some expansion work, with maybe like light work or a side hustle, probably both. But if there's anything you've been wanting to develop more in your life that makes you feel as though you're really accomplishing something, you're contributing something as well to others, the overall wellness, okay, of the community or the universe, I feel more of that going on. There's also a sense of writing here. Now, writing doesn't have to be like finishing a novel. It could just be you putting ideas down on paper and constructing it in a specific way. I feel though, going forward and for the next 2 months, and you may have even been looking at this in the last like 48 hours and feeling a bit frustrated, that the old ways of being distracted can be overcome if you bring in new tools and techniques to do so. So be open to exploration, watch videos on it, and try some new systems. This is going to take you really far over the upcoming year. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Ayana, another YouTube. No, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to keep going. Ayana. Oh, I see. It says thank you, not TikTok or YouTube. I don't know what's going on with these. Okay, that's fine. Ayana, what am I getting for you? So Ayana, when I'm going over here with you, I'm seeing butterflies go in one ear and out your throat, and it's happening on the left side, and then sort of coming out of the middle, but also the left of your throat. This is going to mean a couple different things. When we're looking at the left side of the body, we're talking about the past. We're talking about past life healing. We're talking about past situations that need to be transmuted into something. And in your case, some of this is karmic. So if you feel like you've been through some things that really kind of took you out, and you're ready to get back out there into the world and be more authentically yourself than what you've ever been, it's really going to happen through your ability to listen to your intuition, to listen to spirit, to receive the messages about the transmutation you need to do with your life circumstance, and then to speak on them. Now, sometimes when you're speaking on them, you get a little bit rigid in that. You're like, well, it has to be said a certain way, or I have to be careful who I say it to, or I have to, okay, that's fine. Stay in a safety zone to an extent, but don't hammer it to death. Don't overanalyze it until there's nothing left. Make sure that what you're doing is allowing for flow. I'm thinking this, I'm alchemizing this, I'm transmuting this by putting it out. What a lot of people don't ever understand, or they do and they won't move up to that level, is that we go through hardship. That's phase one. Okay. Then we heal from that hardship. We learn lessons from that hardship. That's phase two. And then the highest level, phase three, is that you give it out to others. So when it's coming out of your throat chakra, sometimes to the left and sometimes directly forward, it's coming out as blue butterflies. Blue butterflies are symbolic of self-empowerment, okay, and also freedom. You're really allowing other people, when you talk about your experiences, to heal their current experience and their past experiences, and possibly even to help them avoid going through something longer than what they have. You may find yourself working very specifically even with people who are dealing with abuse, if they're with narcissistic abusive partners and things like this. Something like that can drag on for years and years and years, okay? So talk about what you know. Allow the healing and the messaging to come out. Talk about your experiences. This is clearly very personal, and that may be a lot of the reason you have, a lot of hesitancy there, but it is time, okay? So beautiful things are going to come of this. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Thank you. This is from Tai Chic, and this is on YouTube. So Tai Chic, I feel like with you, you're getting lifted up by the middle of your back and your lower back. Okay. So you have a gentleman who comes in here with you, who watches over you in a paternal way, who quite literally is like lifting and trying to get you to release some communication problems that you've been having, whether this be with family, this could be in a relationship dynamic, this could be in really any intimate, relationships that you have, but this could also be work related, because that does very intimately affect, right, our finances, our resources. So there seems to be a buildup of negative energy going on there in the lower back, and that signifies that you have probably tried to speak your truth, but it's being disrespected, disregarded, nothing changed. And with this lifting up, he's not saying to you, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, as much as he's saying, I am giving you the energy that you need to sit up straight. Hold your posture, look whoever it is that you're dealing with directly in the eyes and say what it is that you need. You also need to get more unapologetic about this, because there is this sense of like bad posture, okay, which doesn't mean you have it. It's symbolic of like shrinking yourself, okay? So when you're willing to do that in a situation where you should probably be getting louder, right? You're really telling the other people involved that it's okay to keep ignoring you or disrespecting you. I also feel like you backpedal. You've made some decisions to go forward, and he says it's been like one step forward, two steps back. You do backpedal. So being double-minded, you do need to move forward, okay? And allow what is over and done with to be in the past for a new beginning. He loves you very much. All right, we're going to move on to another one here from a Catherine Jablowski-Sabads from, okay. So I don't need anything else up here unless you want to say the platform that it came from. Okay. Because I would like to know where these people are coming from. Okay. So Catherine Jablonski-Sabatz. So Catherine, when I go over here with you, I'm watching you symbolically walk into what feels like an orchard of some kind, maybe a backyard. I don't know if this was like your grandmother's backyard, but I see a plum tree. Now, you don't see these everywhere, and you certainly don't see them very much nowadays. But I see you walking up to this plum tree, and like pulling some off and taking a bite of one and there's a worm and you're like, really? It didn't look rotten. And here's the thing. I think it's important to understand a couple different things. Right now, you have some potential fruition in your life, okay? You have some opportunity to take advantage of prosperity that you have previously earned. So we would say that this is already karmically in place for you. And what happens here is that you are getting some things that you worked toward. You're realizing, though, with the worm that maybe you don't want it anymore. Maybe it tastes rotten to you, or that's gross, or you thought it was going to be different than what it is. And you're saying, I can't take another bite of this. I think it's an important time to understand that dropping something that you have actually worked toward for a long time, invested in, it's okay to let things go because it's going to go down into Mother Earth and it's just going to produce more plums in the future. Okay. Remember that society has trained us up to believe that it is black or white, that it is till death do us part, that it is, work at this company until you have testicles full of cancer, and you're retiring and you're ancient. Never say no, never back down. Those are toxic societal constructs, okay, based on capitalism and patriarchy and whatnot. It's trash and it's over, okay? We are in a period of revolution and you need to get on the boat, okay? It's okay to let go of things, relationships, situations that you had once invested in that are not giving you the type of fruit that you were hoping to see in your life. It's okay. All right, thank you for that. We're going to move on to Lisa Kilanowski on YouTube. Lisa, what I feel for you is you picking up a bunch of coins. Now, I like this for you. This is coming up slightly to the right side, which is going to be over the course of the next 1 to 2 months in particular. This will stretch out probably ballpark 5 months. And we even see some peaks with this at about 3 months out from now. But essentially, it's the opportunities being discussed, even if you're not hearing them, or you having an opportunity to pursue them in a more solid way at the 1 and 2 month mark. So these coins represent prosperity and potential opportunities for you. I see 6 to 8, which can mean that sometimes, we're looking at a nice trajectory here. It's sort of foundational and you'll be able to receive down the line and network even off of these things. But I do think that this is a period of time for you to have your eyes on the prize. And so it's not magical. It's more like theoretical. It's something you decided you wanted and you've been moving toward. It puts you in a greater position of leadership, authority, autonomy, power. So there's a lot of independence that comes along with this. And what you're going to be able to do is to get your hands on these opportunities and allow yourself to dictate more, even if it is more work. It could feel, I'm not going to sugarcoat, it could feel like, oh, wow, I'm working really hard. Okay, but you're also kind of like the owner. You are like the CEO, you're an independent contractor, you're the entrepreneur, you call the shots. So you're going to have to balance this. You're going to have to look at the pros and the cons. And one of the pros is definitely that you have the authority after this happens to dictate what your schedule looks like. Okay. And where you put a lot of your energy and that type of effort. So this is time for you to pick up those coins, not start, resting on your laurels or getting lazy about it or saying like, oh, well, everything's okay the way it is. Everything is okay the way it is. But do you want it to be okay or do you want it to be like really amazing? Okay. There's a lot of level up happening here. Think of it like a video game. You have to go pick up those coins, put them in your pocket to get up to the next level. Exciting stuff for sure. All right. We have another one coming in here from a Cliche on YouTube. All right. Cliche. What do I have coming in here for you? You may find yourself getting into more speaking positions or situations where you want to give your 2 cents. When you speak, you're often channeling. So we would say that up at your crown chakra, the top of your head, you may get like a weird vibration. This is where spirit is putting messages down through your crown chakra and into you, and it comes directly out your throat. So you may not even remember some of the healing messages that you give to people. It comes out almost like, a song or a verse. And that can signify that you're even channeling angel energy. So angels are the healing entities of the universe, often confused for aliens. There's a class up on my website called Coffee with Your Angels. You may want to check out. But when you're channeling them, you can go in and out of trance-like states, not even realize that you're doing it. So what Spirit's talking about with you here today is like, try to do more. Try to allow yourself to give more through your leadership, whether you're doing therapy, you're doing readings, even if you're doing energy work with people, something like Reiki. You may have messages to deliver at the end. I think that you're leveling up with this potentially. There's talk of the 4th month between the 5th month out from now. So you could be looking at a huge promotion where like your title changes in the 5th month. Okay. In the 5th month, you're looking back and you're saying nothing is recognizable. I am even not recognizable to my own self. And the money could be a lot more than what you're pulling in right now. All right. It also seems to open up a gate. I almost see you like a horse, and it's like the pen opened and you can run free. So a horse is a symbol of power, and you may find that this sets you up really for the rest of your life with a nice trajectory. Like, where do you want to go next with this? I think that it's allowing yourself also to be more confident that when you're channeling something, whether it be through your third eye or it be through your crown chakra, okay, meaning psychic or through mediumship, you have to accept that that's what it is. Don't question the heck out of it. Okay. That is what it is. Give it and move on and see what happens. All right. We have one coming in here from a Leanne. Leanne, when I go over here with you, I feel like you're dealing with some sadness, some loss in your heart could have caused, and I can't prescribe diagnose, could have caused a significant amount of anxiety or even depression or depressive like symptoms. And, while this has already happened, it feels like it's sort of lingering with you. So there's this sense of loss. There is this sense of grief. I feel you gearing this toward another person. And I think that, what you're trying to do right now is make sense of it all. And I think that sometimes we can get really caught up in that, where we're like, well, I just want to understand why this happened, or I just need to, get some questions answered about it so that I can sort of move on. And it's like sometimes in life, you just have to reach a point of maturity where you realize that may never happen. And you can still decide to value what was good in that relationship, in that situation, and identify what is causing you grief or pain. And you can use all of that information to strengthen yourself, to strengthen your character and your integrity and your wisdom and your knowledge about the world. And you could say, all of it is okay. I'm okay with that. But I do think that over the course of the upcoming month, the universe is going to be encouraging you more to move forward and leave some of those old ways behind. I also have you looking at math. It's almost like a piece of paper. It's like you're erasing things, you're reconfiguring numbers, you're looking again and again and again. I think that if you've been over-examining a situation in regards to like work, career, finances, your resources, you're trying to make the math and it just isn't. But this could also apply to the other thing I was talking about. If you're trying to figure something out and you're looking at it so hard that it's like you put your glasses on, you're examining it, you take your glasses off, you're stressed. You cannot come with another answer. It's because there is no other answer. Okay. That's all there is right now. No. That eventually things shift and move in the world, and the universe will be giving you more information toward this. Okay. Be watching out also for the number 7 following you around, which is truths being revealed and the next step being lit up before you. Okay. So right now there just isn't anything else to examine in it. All right, thank you so much. We're going to move on to another one. This is from a Christine Gibbons. Christine, when I go over here with you, I feel you like crawling. It's almost a symbol of like you crawling into a fair, a festival, a carnival. And this can In your case, I'm sorry. This is terrible. It's almost like not my circus, not my monkeys. If I have to go back into this clown show, I'm going to lose it. Okay? It's almost this like this you detest this atmosphere and you're crawling on your hands and knees back into the circus, the carnival, the fair because you have to. And I would love to sugarcoat it and be like, we don't have to do anything, follow your bliss. But if you want to like eat, if you want to have decent life, sometimes we have to do things we really don't want to be doing for a little while longer. I do think this is a period of time for you to start focusing what it is that needs to change and not telling yourself, no, it can't change, or no, I can't, or yeah, but, I don't care if we're talking about a relationship that's super old and you've been investing in it and you have like finances, shared income. I don't care if it's a boss or an employer, but you've been there for long enough and you've like dental and medical and you're saying, I can't. You need to start looking at what's not working because when you wake up and you're annoyed, all right, already, you're not really able to authentically be yourself. And you're definitely not able to bring your A game into high vibration to whatever it is that you do. You're supposed to be doing more with teaching. You're supposed to be doing more independently. You're supposed to be doing more with like leadership and even organizing a lot and like getting people excited for things. There is this greater sense of you having the ability to go into situations and uplift them. So why are you wasting it crawling into this clown show? Where I mean, you're not even like getting enough pay for it. The reciprocity is just not there. So we need to ask some serious questions, okay? Edgar. Okay, we do have here from Edgar, who is also a YouTube member. Thank you, Edgar. A message coming in for Edgar. Edgar, I think that this is an important time for you to start creating a savings. I see you reaching with the left hand and grasping at what looks like money or paychecks. It's possible there could be some type of inheritance or like a loan if you wanted it. You could be going after more if you wanted to. This could also signify a promotion or a pay raise. So this is you having to grab at it, but it's within the realm of possibilities. It's within the cards. And this is soon. This is in the next, I want to say 2 weeks to maybe 2 months, 2 months and 2 weeks. And then again at 4 months. So a couple different opportunities for this to happen. Now, the fact that I see you grabbing it with your left hand is your receiving side. Okay, so we have the receiving side on the left and we have the power outside on the right. So what you're doing is you're taking what is symbolically rightfully yours, which suggests you've already been earning this. And you're simply saying, I want to receive what's due me, what I'm worth, my value. I think that once you get it, if you choose to do this, you need to put it away. So the idea of a savings account or the idea that you would start sort of hoarding it up or collecting it a little bit, and they show you like this big giant bird like sitting on these eggs in this high up tree in like an Amazon, it's like you have all these eggs. They will hatch for you. I think all of them actually. There's like 3. I think they will in time. But right now you need to sort of be sitting on them, okay, warming them up, letting them grow. I don't know what goes on with birds, okay, in an egg. I guess they develop. And you need to be a little more patient about that. So try to be careful with spending because you may have some opportunities coming up that say like invest more, just put a little more down and this will bring you happiness. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why don't we just minimalize for a while? Okay. Get what you need, get what makes you happy, but don't go overboard. Okay. And take those savings and put them away and have an idea of where you want to be in the next like 1 to 2 years. Okay. Cause you can use that money for those goals. All right. We have another one coming in here from a Tanya Rivera, another Rivera. So Tanya, what do I have coming in here for you? There's a lot of, words coming out of you and then they turn into like waterfalls or like faucets. So and then it's all over to the right side for you. So what's going to be going on with you right now has been going on for about a month. It triggered 3 months ago, and it's going to be going on, I want to say, for the next 5 to 6 months, is that you're being asked by the universe and your higher mind to allow yourself to speak on things that are cleansing. This could be helping other people with their healing journey. I just want to warn you about this. There is a bit of a red flag coming up here with being too attached to the outcome. So if you're the kind of person who says, well, I want to help people, or I think maybe I should, but what if they don't receive it, or what if this, or what if that? Who cares? That's not your business. When we are called to do something or say something or invest in something, it's our business to show up and say it or do it, and then let go and release. You cannot care how it lands, if it's adopted at all. I think that could stop you. I think you could stop you by allowing that to stop you. Okay. That type of thinking. Don't forget too, that's ego. Okay. Ego is fear, manipulation, and control. The opposite of ego is love. It's faith. It's fluidity. Okay. So stay in the motion of things. Once you say what it is that you're supposed to be saying to these people, and some of it may even be about your own personal experience or journey or insight. That's okay to have a twist of you in there. It's very cleansing. You're helping people to release. So also, if you were looking at doing more with, light work, therapy work, teaching, anything in this vein, you're going to see an increase in that. Okay. Through you being willing to give this. Very exciting. All right. Thank you. We have another one here from a Mallory Stews. Mallory, what am I getting for you? You have a gentleman coming in here who smokes a cigar and feels like grandfather energy. Do you feel like I'm on mom's side and I have to go back one generation? And he's talking about you examining things very carefully right now. You're looking sort of at like family and your relationships. And this could also be like kids or family dynamics. You're also looking at career. You're looking at your finances. You're looking at everything very meticulously. And the image of him smoking a cigar symbolizes potential celebration coming up in the future. I think one of the things that you may want to do is to sort of release and let go. Oh, I got to interrupt that. I forgot to mention to you guys that TikTok always shuts me down. TikTok absolutely hates me. So if you are on TikTok, you're going to want to switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy, especially if you're waiting on your message, because they're going to shut me down probably any minute now. I can already see the alert coming up. And what they're going to say is that nobody was there, even though I see a bunch of you are there. I do see you guys. I do appreciate you. Okay. So, what I was saying though was that, who was this? I'm sorry. Can we go back, Jill? Was that Mallory Stews? Okay. I can't believe I remembered that. Thank you. Okay. Mallory Stews. So, what I'm seeing with you though, and I have a gentleman here, is this very sort of meticulous attitude that you may have about things. It's very much like, I want to have all my ducks in a row, and I need, 15 signs instead of just 3 signs to make a move. And, I don't know, a little too much logic going on here with you. This is a period of time where you want to have some more meaningful relationships. And I'm not dissing the current relationships that you have or saying that anything's really wrong there. Okay. But there is this sense of wanting to get yourself to a place where you feel like you're having more passionate exchanges with people. You're dealing with people who understand you more than what you've been able to have in these current relationships. And you're evolving out into a different sort of position socially so that you're being more recognized for what you have to offer, because it's very, very humdrum right now. And that may very well be because you like to have things organized. You've done a great job with that. But when it's time to shake it up, this may be where you freeze a little bit. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. We have a Danelle on Facebook. Danelle, what am I getting for you? I feel like you've been going through some stressful situations, and it's almost like you need to calm yourself down, but you're not sure how. And sometimes we have tools that work, and then one day they sort of stop working. And that's okay. And I can't prescribe a diagnose, but it does feel like stress going up through your neck and up into your head. This can also mean that you're dealing with some toxic people. So if you have toxic people around you, if you have stressful situations where you feel like people are being deliberately confused, there's learned helplessness, there's a victimization, right? It's stuff like this that makes life impossible. And you really can't deal with people like that because, they are aware that they're doing it and they want to keep it that way. It benefits them. So it is manipulation. And I think what you're doing right now is wanting out of some circumstances that are feeling like you're almost like a compression. You want to like decompress. You want out of a prison like system. You may also be worrying a little too much about the future, about whether it's finances, it's, resources in general, it's where are things going. I think you're putting a little too much pressure on getting those answers. And I think that this is a good time for you to write out a list, okay, of like 4 to 5 things. You do have a lady who comes through here who's big on the list, big on the recipe books, big on the cursive writing, big on the letter sending, big on the birthday cards, like big on the notes, big on the handwriting. It's an art form. It's also called automatic writing. So quite literally, when you're writing things out, spirit can channel through you and your higher mind can speak more clearly. Okay. Your higher mind always knows where you're going and what the answers are and what the solutions are, and what would be for your highest and best. And it's like right now it's a little bit clogged up. Okay. So try not to worry about health, try not to worry about resources, try not to worry about the future, but instead make a list. She's going to be helping you with this. It's almost like 4 to 5 things that you want to see happen. Okay. What do you want to see become of your future life? Okay. Try to think future self, not current circumstances, and focus more on those things instead of getting tied up like a mouse on a wheel. Okay. In your ways of thinking. Thank you for that. We're going to move on to another one. This is from a Shauna Dempsey. Shauna, what do I have for you? I have you packing up and moving on, and you can apply this to whatever areas of your life make the most sense, but it was you packing up and leaving your house. So you may be feeling this with like family, relationships, any dynamic. I'm hearing codependent, any areas in your life, by TikTok, any areas in your life where you feel there's codependency or there's some type of attachment style that really isn't working for you anymore. You want out of all of that. I also feel that if you have people in your life who are like siphoning your energy, they're not standing on their own 2 feet. They have an attitude of entitlement with you. You're literally leaving. What I find hilarious about this, even though this could be a hard transition for you, I validate that and I'm honoring that emotionally. Okay. But what's funny about it is that, like, if you got all these people up in your house, for example, and the house represents your life, the house actually represents you symbolically. Okay. So if you have all these people here and you don't know how to deal with them anymore, you don't want to deal with this situation or that, you can just leave. And it's funny that most people think in terms of like, well, I have to get them out. Well, I have to set these boundaries. Well, I have to figure out a way to work with it. Do you? What if they just did what you do and pack a bag and disappear? It's hilarious. And so you can sometimes just leave things that aren't working or relationships that aren't working behind. And I see you doing it unapologetically. I see you also protecting your ears and your mind, which means I'm not listening. I'm not listening to anyone trying to grab at me, hold me back, get me to compromise, empty promises. I don't want to hear it. And sometimes you have to reach that point in life too, where you don't care how it's going to affect other people. Everything we do affects other people. Should we continuously limit ourselves? No, of course not. Okay. And the fact that everyone else has been able to get so much out of you for so long and you're finally just wanting to do for you, and if the only way you see how to do that, the only way you're interested in doing that is literally exiting, scene left, I think good for you. Okay. So be bold in making those types of changes if you feel you need to. All right. Thank you. We have one from a CGH on YouTube. So what message do I have for you, CGH? I have you watching a situation very, very closely and trying to figure out, almost like playing a game of chess, when I should say something, when I should make a move. I feel like you're trying to learn divine timing. And I think that you're also watching to see what other players are doing, or this one person in particular, is doing in this situation. And I think it's important to pay attention to that. I also think it's important for you to pay attention to what you already know inside. So intuitively, you already know what is best. Intuitively, you already have all the patterns. You already have all the information. You already know where you ought to be going with this. So don't feel like you have to, hyper focus in on this person and this situation and wait to see what they're going to do, kind of before you make a move. Do it when you feel you're ready to do it. I feel too like you have some opportunities to level up significantly in the upcoming year. We see expansion on relationships. We see expansion on your spiritual development. We see actual coins coming down from heaven. So these coins from heaven signify an increase in like money, investment opportunities, your resources, things like that. And I think that while all of that is there as a potential, it's also coming up way up at the top, which is your free will zone. So I can't give 100% guarantee on whether or not you're actually going to take advantage of that, because you have free will. I could tell you it will happen. That is destined, and it will be available to you. And I would highly recommend that you do take it. But I think that you're going to have to get yourself sort of unstuck in this current circumstance. The next 4 months will be bringing a lot of natural fluidity to that as well. Okay. So get ready to sort of drop that hammer, play your hand, make a move, and move forward. Exciting stuff. All right. We have another one here from a Tony Ramos. This is on YouTube. Tony, what do I have for you? I have your stomach being sick, like upset. And I can't prescribe or diagnose, but I feel almost like butterflies in the stomach gone bad, which can signify dysregulated nervous system, anxiety, irritable bowel even. Usually this comes with headaches, and I do feel a lot of pain in my upper shoulders and back, and even around to the chest, and a squeezing. This is straight up anxiety. This is being upset and bothered. I think that what's happening with you here, and again, I cannot prescribe or diagnose, is that you need to end a cycle, and you can't end a cycle. And so what you're trying to do at this point, and even in the last like 48 hours or so, is do what you can to control what you can. And that's the smartest thing you can do. A lot of it has to do with your throat chakra, your voice, and speaking your truth. So where does your power lie in all of this sort of feeling of powerlessness? Okay. Your energy lies in your throat chakra. So as long as you are saying your truth, and you are sort of, I'm hearing unrelenting. Okay. You have a lady coming through mom's side of the family. You have a gentleman coming through dad's side of the family. And what also feels like an uncle who I feel like looks a lot like your dad, but it's odd. I feel like he's from your mom's side. So I don't know if you had an uncle who passed who like looked like your father. But that's a little peculiar. But anyways, I have them coming through and backing you and talking about how you just need to be consistent in reiterating. And so, it's not always the first time you say something that something gets done. It's like your story needs to be the same and regurgitated. Okay. The next 4 to 6 months is going to bring some change in your circumstance, especially between the 4th and the 6th month. And I'm just going to say at that time, don't get too irritable. Don't allow this stress in your shoulders and this upset stomach, to overtake you. Sometimes the universe is working things out, and you are in a little bit of a waiting phase. That doesn't mean things aren't being done behind the scenes. They are. Now that comes up again at about 2 weeks out from now. So that's the beginning of this cycle of movement for you. You just need to do your part. Okay. So 2 weeks, we see some significant breakthroughs. I do feel like everything here can really work out in your favor, but breathe. Okay. And like, take a bubble bath or something. It's like, my God, sometimes you need to just throw some money at the problem, like get a massage. You need to be eating really well right now. Like, don't eat shit and don't pick up bad habits, like whether it be like, drinking or, smoking, or just take care of your body, and your body will take care of you. Okay. But some stress reduction techniques is good for you. You have a soldier on type of attitude, and that's never smart, especially when we're dealing with stress up here and down here. Okay. Don't soldier on. Find helpful techniques that work for you. with reducing stress and releasing that type of energy. At the very least, go out barefoot every day for like 10 to 15 minutes in the dirt. Okay. All right, thank you. We're going to move on to another one. This is from an Angie Rizzo. Angie, what do I have for you? I have this lady coming through here, like rocking, kind of rocking back and forth, and she feels like a grandmother. I also have a gentleman coming through who watches over you in like a friend or lover capacity, and they're both referencing you as becoming this person sort of rocking in this chair. And what I feel like they're talking about here, first of all, a lot of love to you and a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. It can also just be a deep love. This is a sort of nervousness, kind of a tick. A lot of people love rocking chairs and then like knitting and crocheting. And I see her, making all these things. It's like, because it's busy work, it's keeping you busy. And it almost reflects what's going on in your head. It's like a way to get it all out. I think though, what's happening with you is that you're doing it and it's not coming out. It's not necessarily being released. It's not being, creative and turned into a beautiful Afghan or some kind of quilt or some doily or something, you know what I mean? A shawl that someone can wear, or baby booties or whatever. It's like, it's not sort of going anywhere. You're just rocking. And so what they're talking about here is recognizing that and identifying that this may be a really good time for you to allow yourself to pick up on something that allows you to feel more expressive with your creativity, or like you're creating a flow of energy in general. I don't care if it's a coloring book, okay? And you get some like glitter markers and you're doing meditational coloring books. I don't care what it is, but we need motion, because motion works for you, and some type of an additional outlet, okay? This could also be a good opportunity for you to like make more friends or find like-minded people, or get into your spiritual development, or get more involved in like, a hobby where a bunch of other people are into the same hobby and you have more to talk about with that. The other thing I'm seeing that would be good for you with this is like walking. So whether it be cardio, it be any kind of exercise where there's like repetition and movement meditation. Okay. They want to see you invest in this. I think that what's happening is that you're leaving some old stuff behind. They show you putting down bags of bricks, and they may seem like bricks. They may feel like bricks. They may have even looked like bricks. But when I open the bag, I don't see bricks. I see like gold bars, and so you've been through a lot. There's talk of the last 5 to 6 years, some stuff that may have even started about 7 years ago. But what's happening is like you're reaching the end of that phase. And so now your burdens have been turned into gold, and it's just up to you to sort of recognize that and start taking it, not necessarily out into the world to share, you don't have to go that far yet. But definitely reconstructing the way you think and live your day-to-day lifestyle. Lots happening here. They love you very much. Thank you. We have another one coming in from a Mont Z8. And what do I have for you, Mont Z8? I have a couple fictitious creatures coming in here pouring tea for you. And it's almost like if I were in Alice in Wonderland and that rabbit showed up, like that weird rabbit, not the white rabbit, the other one, the goofy one, and then like the Mad Hatter, and we got a couple other, players here. They're pouring tea, and it looks like a Mad Hatter's tea party. It's like shit spilling all over the place. I mean, there's chaos. But the thing is, tea itself is symbolic, and there's a lot of sugar here, sugar cubes being put in your teacup. You're trying to stir it and it's spilling, and it's, chaotic and hilarious. But it is money. It is lucrative. It is prosperity on a larger scale than possibly even what you feel like you can handle right now. There's a lot of development that can happen here if you choose to take this route. And I think that what you're supposed to be doing is looking at the sort of chaos of your current circumstances, career, work, okay, all of that. Also, specifically what you do, but also who you work with, and ask yourself if you feel this is something you can continuously build up. Not everyone is built for every type of environment. But what I like about this is that even though there's a rabbit on the table and they're spilling your tea and I see you laughing. So I'm pretty confident, okay, that energetically, yeah, this is nuts. A lot of people could not handle this. More for you, okay? More for you. So I think that the the way people may downplay the opportunity, you may even be downplaying the opportunity. The way you may be saying, well, I could not possibly do this long term, or I don't really know what I'm doing. You don't have to, okay? In Alice in Wonderland, she had no clue what she was getting into. And quite frankly, everybody's just faking it anyways. I'm 45, right? So like I knew this as a kid. I would be like, why do I feel like no one knows what they're doing? You know, and it wasn't just because they were making mistakes, like they energetically felt off. Okay. Well, I now know most people have no clue what they're doing. And the only ones who do are the ones who've been there for a while and they've earned that position of comfort in the chaos. So, keep in mind that you can have it all in this situation, and that you are uniquely designed for something new. Okay. On untracked territory here. All right, thank you, Alicia Killian on YouTube. Alicia, what do I have for you? I have you reaching into what almost feels like a cauldron. There's like a witch's brew here, and I'm seeing like witch stirring it. There's like stars and moons and I'm like, this is pretty magical. Like, what is in here? Like, what is she doing? I see you reaching in and picking up like almost like a grab bag, and it reminds me of if you've ever been to like a fair, a festival where they had the duck game. Is anyone old enough to remember the duck game? Do they even still have this, where all the ducks would go around and you don't know what you're gonna get? You pick a duck and you hope for the best, and it had something written on it, and that was the size prize you were gonna get, or maybe nothing. But I feel like what's happening with you is like you're reaching into this sort of magical space, and you're saying, okay, I'm going to take what's mine. I'm going to get my bag. This is my opportunity, and you're being optimistic and you're being faithful. So if you've recently decided to get into a new venture, this could also involve like education, training, launch of your own business, expansion in those areas. We see a lot of potential profit here. And I feel like you did pick a good duck. I feel like there is a lot, it's almost like you open your bag and it's like stardust, where do you want to go spread it? Which signifies a lot of potential expansion in the years to come. I also see you going backward a bit. And when we're looking backward, we could be needing to evaluate where you're overlooking yourself as a resource. So forget about the world outside you, forget about shared income, forget about employers, forget about banks and institutions and the government. Forget it. Forget it. Look inside yourself. Okay. Be introspective and say, what in me is untapped? What education, training tools do I have from the past that I can bring back? What have I not completed? And what skills are here that I really don't use or I haven't previously seen as super valuable that are, okay? For you, one of those is going to be communication. You may not fully realize how good you are at things like networking, leadership, talking to a group, selling a ketchup popsicle to a lady in white gloves. There's a lot there. Okay. So it's going to work for you, but you have to make it work for you. All right. Do we have any more or are we at time? Angie says, thank you. This has given me a ton to think about. Much love. Okay, good. We are at time. All right, you guys. If you want a direct spirit message, you can go onto my website, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com, and I will send you a voice clip. If you want to book a reading, a party, or a psychic fair with me, you can also do that there. I will be back. I will see you guys on the 25th for Roots Revival Interfaith, our church service, and we are talking about neurodivergence versus intuition, how they often look the same, when you may be this versus that, and how intuition is so overlooked in neurodivergence. So I hope to see you guys for that. Let me know if you enjoyed the show, and if you want to see it in the mix of things, I will keep it. And I really appreciate you guys being here. Seems like it went great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Spirit.